G'day and welcome. My name is Matt. I'm from DIY Data, and in this video I'm showing off this microphone preamp from a Panasonic DVC30. It's an old mini DV camcorder. I came across one of these preamplifiers from one of those cameras. I worked out how to modify the unit to be able to be used with a 3.5mm stereo connector. It was actually a surprisingly easy modification to make. All you really need to do is modify the power cable, the output cable, and supply the unit with some power. This little unit is actually quite handy in that it allows you to plug in XLR microphones, which can supply phantom power. And if I turn around over here, you can turn phantom power on and off. There's a few other controls like a mic line switch, so I can actually use this as an attenuator to plug line input levels from an audio mixer and get them into cameras like my eos-m or my 650D. When you open the unit up, you'll find the cable that comes into the unit here. It plugs in via a little row of headers, like a little plastic connector. And I figured the easiest way to make this modification was to actually use that header and the wires that came out of the device instead of having to try to remake that connector or unsolder the surface mount side of the connector and solder directly onto the circuit board. You could solder the connections to the pins on the circuit board, but I figured that it was easiest and safest to hook things up to the wires already attached to the plug. But I didn't want the big thick cable that was hanging out of the unit that had the multi-pin connector on it. So what I did was split the insulation off that big thick cable and removed the cables that I needed. When it comes to powering it, the unit can be powered from anything from 3.6 volts up to 36 volts, I believe, which is a massive range, and that allows you to choose basically the most convenient power solution for you. When I started doing this, I was using 4 rechargeable AA batteries. That worked great, but it was quite a messy solution. I tried using a 9-volt battery in a small little project enclosure. That also worked fine. Not a huge fan of 9-volt batteries for things because not a lot of things use them. They're expensive and they're a pain in the butt. So I went with the NPF Sony type battery solution here. You can get these NPF style battery mounts for about $20 or so on eBay or wherever you like to buy things. And these are nice little units. However, they are designed for mounting on brackets and things. So what I chose to do, because this is going to be more of a permanent installation thing, is I took the charger plate off one of these cheap eBay NPF battery chargers and I have hot glued it onto the top here after, of course, connecting the wires to the circuit. The reason I use one of these is because I had one already, and the other reason I used one of these was that you can get one of these for about $5, the whole charger unit. Whereas one of these devices, you're looking at $20. And once I had the everything wired up and ready to go, I just needed to assemble it. For now, I've just chosen to use hot glue. I've used hot glue to glue this metal base onto the unit, and that metal plate has a tapped 1/4-20 thread, and then I can just use one of these 1/4-20 to hot shoe mounts to mount it onto the camera, and that 1/4-20 thread means I can mount it in other ways if I choose to. And it's hot glue holding the battery compartment on as well. Hot glue, yes, it's not the most strongest thing in the world, but I do find that you can then modify things. Like if I decide to swap this out for a different battery pack, like one of the Canon ones, I can just snap it off. So far my testing, this has exceeded all my expectations on how well it would work. With the eos-m and most other Canon cameras, they don't have very good preamplifiers in them. They're quite noisy. And using this unit, I can turn the preamps in the Canon cameras right down. Then I can use the preamps in the Panasonic device to apply that gain back and get much nicer, less noisy sound out of it. Now I can also run phantom powered microphones. This unit can supply phantom power, so like for example this little shotgun microphone, or a larger shotgun microphone, or a lapel microphone. Essentially any standard microphone that uses a phantom powered XLR connector, I can run off this unit now, which is fantastic. Well, this is a great little unit and it works really well. There are a few things I would like to change. It would be nice to have a way to monitor the audio. The cameras that I'm using don't have full-time audio readouts or headphones to actually hear your audio. So it would be nice to be able to at least see and or hear the sound that is going into the preamplifier. Unfortunately, that would require adding a bit more electronics that you then need to find somewhere to put and supply power to. And for now, I'm just going to go without. And the other thing that I would like to maybe add is add a switch to allow you to turn on and off the unit. Currently, to turn the unit off, you have to unplug the battery, which is fine, it's okay, but sometimes you just want to sit it down. You don't want to have to clip the battery off, sit the two things down, and then lose the battery when you go to shoot or forget to put the battery on or something. And maybe a battery level indicator, that would also be handy, but yeah, if you know of any circuits or components that I can use to add some of those features that I mentioned to this, let me know. I'd love to check it out, because I would love to add a few more features to this. Well, that's it for this video. As you can see, I've got a fantastic little microphone preamp now. It gives me some professional controls, and I've saved several $100s compared to buying a similar thing that may not actually be as high quality as these Canon preamps. Alright, just before I go, I'd like to thank the person who runs montadiy.net, who did a lot of the background research, like pulled it apart, found the components and like what the voltages run at, the pin out for everything, and they've gone into quite a lot of detail in working out how to do this little project. So it made it easy for me. I could literally just copy from what they had already done. So thank you very much. Alright, well that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and stay tuned till next time.